hello, this is Wakasm Plays, the Rogue-Lite Board Game. There we go. And hello, I'm Wakasm, and this is my second play of Dead Cells. We covered it earlier on the channel. This is a rogue-like board game where you play as a character called the Beheaded. They have different flavors. Today I'm playing as the Poisoned. Last time I played as the Flayed. I think every game I'm just going to change who I play as. I just kind of rotate through all the characters over and over and just kind of learn them as I go. Since we're playing solo, we have a AI partner called Serenade, who they're gonna kind of, for the most part, be automatically controlled. And again, the point of the game is to get to the end, beat the bosses without dying, but you kind of start off really weak, and the whole, concept of the game, if you're not familiar with a roguelite, is that you kind of lose and then you kind of get currency to invest into your characters and powers, and then game from game you get a little bit stronger, and over time you get strong enough where you can just win. I guess that's the goal, and try to do it in this 3-minute game as few games as possible. And that is the general gameplay loop of the game. It's a cooperative game. It can be played up to 4 players. But again, if you watched the first video, you kind of already are familiar with the gameplay loop. Last time I did not get to the first boss. I got to the room before the first boss. So hopefully today we can do a little bit better. We did get some upgrades that carried over from last game, so I will cover, all that real quick. Up here we have treasure level 1. I get to place 2 teeth in the group's bag. Teeth is like the currency. Let's see. There we go. They're like the currency that you can buy stuff at the different stores in the game. So you can kind of get more things. You can heal yourself. You can get upgrades. And seems like characters use it. For instance, the Poison seems to use teeth. Seems to get teeth, and then seems to use teeth to do different things. So we shall see how that plays out, because I've never played this character before. Again, this is my second playthrough. And we also now have a potion, so we can heal once during the run. Last time we did not have this potion. Probably would have made all the difference for me, at least getting to the boss. And those are the 2 upgrades that I have. And then the other upgrades were all the characters start with 6 cards. I was given 2. Did I have a separate pack? No. I was given 2 cards. I was given a second wind card. Actually, is this correct? I think I mixed up my cards. 1 second. Yes, no, this is the correct card. I was given a second wind card. They can give me a shield. It can help us heal. And also I gave Serenade a card, which is Cold Shoulder, which lets them deal damage or freeze something. I think I'm going to swap these cards around now that I'm a different character. My last character used shields for all kinds of stuff, but I think now we're going to swap it and give Serenade this card, and we're going to take Cold Shoulder for the Poisoned. And the reason why I gave Serenade an extra card is just because when they run out of cards, then they don't shuffle their cards back until you get to the end of the dungeon. So at some point, we're going to probably get more cards, and I'll try to figure out what's the best cards for Serenade. But at least now Serenade can kind of act as a healer and heal one of us, which will be helpful. And then, yeah, I just took the extra card because I'm pretty sure you have to use all the cards you get. There is an FAQ for the game, and it hasn't been updated since October, and there's a lot of questions on the Board Game Geek forums about different rules, and one of the ones that seems to be open to interpretation is if you have to use all the cards you get in your upgrade pile. It says somewhere in the FAQ that you have a minimum of 6, like you have to have 6 cards in your deck, but it also seems to imply that you have to use all the cards one way or the other. So like if I really wanted the Poison to have a lean deck, I could give Serenade all the cards that I don't want, but I think I have to use all the cards. So right now I'm just splitting it because I was also running into issues with the Flayed. Every time I tried to use this player discard mechanic with Serenade, because I had a number of cards that was divisible by 3, I was constantly not able to trigger these special powers. So I added the card to the Poisons just to do it. And again, it's the first 2 cards I unlocked, so we're going to use them and just see how they go. So anyway, everything's set up. We set up the prisoner's quarters. You always start in the prisoner's quarters, which is this up here. We're going to be trying to get down to the toxic sewers. We can't get to the ramparts yet because we don't have the rune unlocked. We don't have any runes unlocked. I'm assuming we unlock them by beating bosses, but I don't actually know. And I just realized I forgot to put down a... So there is that. This is another rune power. If we had this rune, then I believe we'd be able to look at this tile, but we don't have that rune either. So yeah, that is where we are currently with the game. So that's everything you need to know to be caught up. We do have a couple of equipment that we unlocked that are now mixed into this pile. So there's that. We do not start with any equipment. And yeah, I guess let's just get started and see how today's play goes. So the first thing you do is you move, and the first space we get to move to is a treasure space. And the treasure base basically says whoever's the first player gets to upgrade their green power line. I forget what these tokens are called. They are called scrolls. So here, let us do this, and let us, nope, too much. So I get to upgrade this once, and because I made myself the first player, I have the crown right now. Whoops, this should probably be here. So we can put the little crown on their head. It just basically means that my max health goes up, and if I increase this one more time, then I'll be immune to poison, although last time I did not see too much poison, but I would also get another health. So that's what's going on there. I'm not sure if that's the treasure we would have wanted. I think we would have probably preferred getting because we don't start with equipment, but it's fine. It is what it is. Let's just get started and see where we go. So we have the option now of going up or down, and I think we are going to go down today, mostly because I don't know why. I feel like I just feel better going down. I don't think I want to encounter this yet. Actually, I don't even know what this is. And this could be a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe, you know what? Let's go up that way. Last time we took the bottom path, so let's take the top path this time. Let's just see how it goes. So we're going to go onto this space. We're going to flip this over, and we are getting 2 normal enemies. And the loot that we can get from this space is going to be 2 teeth. So the way we set things up is we draw an enemy, we have a zombie, and a shield breaker. And then we have 2 teeth. These are going to be what we can loot. Gonna go here. Actually, it's supposed to go down here. Oh, we put it up there. There's more room. And then we're gonna take our turn. So I'm supposed to start with 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. So let us look and see what our cards are. And we're leaving a little bit of space here so that we can discard here for Serenade. All right, so we have the ability to loot if we want to do that. We have the ability to loot, damage, or damage. We have this ability, which I did not use all last game. I believe it's marked, yeah. So we place a token on one opponent when taking at least 1 damage, they take 1 more. So that could be good, with the exception that we don't have any guaranteed way to do damage in the 3rd round. So actually, no, we do actually. We can kind of play this in this order, and we can guarantee 2 damage on something. Problem is we can only damage who's ever in the 1st row. So we'll have to see how this plays out. But basically, I get to choose 2 cards to play. And the downside is, depending on the order of how I play them, it's how they get discarded. So if I wanted to get this power, this purple power, to get Serenade's marked ability next round, I would have to play the 2nd. But if I play it 2nd, then it's kind of useless. So we're just going to play it like this. So we're going to play, and this card we're just going to keep in our hand. We're not going to worry about looting right now because we generate teeth automatically with our skill. And we're going to get a tooth if we can kill this zombie. And I don't know. I don't remember if Serenade actually has loot cards or not. So we'll put our extra card. Okay, so our active cards are going to go down here. Well, we're going to do it like this for now. We'll worry about the positioning when I get more equipment. And this is just still in our hand. And all right, so we've committed the 2 cards we want to play. And now we're going to see what Serenade's doing. And they are damaging twice in the last round. All right, so let's see how this plays out. So the way the turn works is we would do any 0 speed abilities. And right now nobody has any 0 speed abilities ready. Mine here, I don't have powered up yet. I don't have anything in the discard currently that would trigger Serenade's ability. So yeah, so that's where we're at right now. So we don't have any 0 power abilities. They don't have any 0 power abilities. So then we kind of go left to right. We do the beheaded turns first, which is us. Then we do the 2 enemies and we see what happens. So first, because the poisoned is first, they're going to do their 2 cards. and they're simply going to deal a damage to something, and then they are going to get a tooth because of their special ability right here to get a tooth. So we kind of have some choices here. The zombie's not going to get any shields, which is good, and Serenade is going to be doing 2 damage at some point to something. So I think the way we're going to do this is we will just damage. We're going to get our tooth. So the tooth just kind of goes in our pile right here. You can't see it. My head's covering it, but we now have 3 teeth. And then that's everything that we can do in the first round, and Serenade does nothing in the first round. So now we get attacked by the zombie, and the zombie is going to be doing 1 damage to one of us. We get to choose who the damage goes to, and for the moment, since I have more health, well, I have equal health, I'm going to just take the damage right here. And then the shield bearer is going to shield themselves, and then they would shield whoever's behind them, but luckily they were drawn second, so there's nobody behind them to get shielded. And that is it for the turn, or for the first round. For the, are they called phases? Rounds? What do they call them in this? Yeah, they're called rounds. So that's the end of round 1. So we're going to move down to round 2. And again, these are the cards that we have. Maybe this is why I wanted it like this in the first place. So we're just going to go left to right again, but we're going to do our round 2 abilities. So the first thing that I can do is I can, and I'm going to mark the shield bearer, and I can mark someone in the first spot or the second spot, and then I can just hit somebody for 1, and we're just going to hit the zombie, and that's going to kill the zombie, or he can attack us a second time. So he's going to go away, and then on death, he's going to give us 1 gold tooth. We're up to 4 gold teeth. And then that's all that's happening because Serenade has nothing for their second round. But then the shield bearer also has nothing for their second round too. So that is it for that round. We're going to move on to the third round. Now in this combat round, I do nothing, but Serenade is going to hit something for 2 points. And the way marked works is you place the token, and then whenever they take at least 1 damage, they take 1 more. So since they're getting hit for 2, they're going to get hit for 1 more for 3, and they have a max hit points of 2. So it's going to be 1 to take away the shield, and then 2 more to kill the shield bearer. And we're going to kill the shield bearer before they can even do anything. And then you'll see here at the bottom, our reward is a dead cell. Dead cells are the currency for the game that basically helps us upgrade everything. So yeah, between games, so really the goal right now is to get as many dead cells as humanly possible. So we did not loot the teeth this round, which is unfortunate because my character uses the teeth, but it's fine. Then what do? We do something next. We discard this, then we discard this first, this second. And basically the way Serenade works is if this card has one of these matching symbols, Serenade is either going to get a round 0 power or a 3rd round power to do some extra damage, which is why we want to try where we can to get symbols there, which is what I was struggling with last game because of the amount of cards that I have, but maybe we'll be able to do better this time. We'll see how it works. So I have 1 card in my hand. I'm going to draw up to 2 more cards. And now we basically move. Next, we have no choice where we get to go. I guess let's look at this and see what this looks like. So this is I think it's called a deck check. I forget what they actually call it. Again, second game, and it's been like a week since I played the first game because I was busy this week with work and stuff and my kid. So I apologize. But yeah, this is called a deck check. We're looking at the top of our combat deck, and if it's so basically we're going to draw a card, and if we draw one of those 3 symbols on our card, then we get the reward, and if we don't, we don't. I don't think we take any damage. I don't know why. I was under the impression that if we fail this check, we take damage, but I just checked, and I don't think so. Maybe it's on one of the other maps that if you fail, you take damage. I guess let me double check and see if my memory is playing with me or not. Maybe. No, you don't take damage, it seems like. I don't know why I thought you take damage. Maybe you do. Let me double check. Yeah, I don't think we take damage. I think it would say it on the board if we did, or maybe it like pushes us in a direction. I don't know why I was under the impression you take damage, but yeah. So we're going to draw the top card, and we drew a plus, which is going to let us heal, which is good. And then also, interestingly enough, now this goes into our discard, and then now we do actually have a round 0 power that we get to use. So since the poisoned is the only one who's damaged, we're going to use that free heal on the poisoned, and we're going to move down to the next room. So, and basically this says that the first player token is going to change to a Serenade, which means Serenade's card is going to act first in battle this round. And we're just fighting 2 normal enemies. So we have a, what do we have? We have a level 3 zombie, well, zombie with 3 hit points, and a grenadier, which also has 3 hit points. So this might be a little tough for us because we don't do a ton of damage. This guy does a lot of damage to us. He does a little bit less, but he gives us dead cells if we kill him. So we're gonna have to see how we want to do it. Luckily, we can freeze an enemy, and we get to choose where we want to freeze them. So let's figure all that out first. So let's figure out our cards, and then we will figure out what we want to do. There's no loot this time, so we're probably not going to play our loot cards. We do have poison. Poison places a poison token on the opponent, and they take 1 unblockable damage at the end of every round. So we can kill the zombie potentially before he can do extra damage to us. Yeah, so we're going to play these 2 cards. I don't think the order matters, so we'll do it like this. We're going to hold on to this card for another round. We'll put it over here. Sorry, realized I am zoomed out right now. So we're going to take these 2 cards. Is what we're playing. I'll zoom up. We're going to do it like this. And then Serenade is going to do damage on the first round, which is actually potentially really good for us because that means we can probably kill the zombie a little bit earlier, maybe. All right. So first things first is we look for everything that has round 0 abilities, and since have this symbol in our discard, I know it's kind of messy, but I don't know. The way this is laid out, it's messy. Maybe I should put Serenade on the other side. Maybe that would make more sense. I don't know. No, discard, player discard. I think Serenade has to be on this side. So we're just going to do it like this. So yeah, we have this plus sign, this heal survival is what this icon represents, which means we get to freeze something. And the way freeze works is basically we get to cover in action. And I don't think it really matters what we cover because we're going to be taking a couple damage no matter what we do, I think. And we're only going to be able to kill one of these guys. So we have the choice of going for a dead cell or taking less damage. And I think we're just going to do the option to take less damage. So let's freeze him and then let's just play it out and see how it goes. First round, we're going to do 1 damage to something, and we're just going to do 1 damage to... And then we do nothing else. They do nothing because he does nothing and then he's frozen. Second round, Serenade does nothing. We poison. Do we have a poison token somewhere? Can we actually kill both with poison, with smart usage of poison? Let's think this. We're gonna do 2 more damage. No, I don't think so. If I put it on him, he's just going to take 2 points of damage and not die unless I punch him. And then we only have 1 punch left. So yeah, let's just put it on the zombie for now. And then we do 1 more punch. So I guess we will punch the zombie with our 2 actions. They're going to go and they're going to do 2 damage to us. Now 1 damage can go to anyone and 1 damage has to go to the first player. So we're just going to split up the damage right now. We'll put 1 on the poisoned and we'll put 1 on Serenade. And then we go on to the 3rd round. So for this combat round, because of the poison, this zombie is going to take a damage and that puts him at 3. So this zombie's going to die. And we don't get anything for killing them, but what we do get is we prevent 1 damage to us. We would have liked the dead cell, but we also want to make a little bit of progress, so we're going to play things a little bit safe. And then nothing happens there. And then for the 3rd round, we basically can do nothing. We can punch he'll take a damage, and then we could loot. There's nothing to loot. So then he does nothing, and then basically when the round ends, combat's over, he just goes away. We don't get anything from him because we didn't kill him. These are going to get discarded now. So this is going to go to Serenade's discard pile right here. And this is going to get discarded first. Wait, how did I have this? Did I have it like this? Why would I have it like I should have had it like this. Sorry. The order did not matter, but I should have had it like this. This gets discarded first. This gets discarded second. It's not going to matter anyway, I think, because I think we're going to have to drop 3 cards. We draw 1 card, 2 cards, and then now we have to draw from the discard anyway, which means there's nothing in the discard to power up Serenade for the next battle. So look at our 3rd card. And then we have the choice of going down or straight. I don't actually remember what these weird stone tiles represent. And I don't see encounter and elite counter tiles. And I am kind of confused. I feel like I'm missing a tile because there's only one of those tiles unless I accidentally mix them up. 2, no. I am a little bit confused with that tile. So unless I'm missing something, there's only one of those tiles, which means that every single game I can know what this tile is. So this is my first time exploring it, so I guess I'll learn what it is, and then I'll have to figure out if I'm completely mistaken. But yeah. All right, so it is an elite fight, but I can get an upgrade scroll from this. And I just realized I didn't move the crown goes back. All right, so this is an elite fight, but I guess I always know that that's going to be a power scroll upgrade as part of the loot. Whether we loot it or not is totally different. I do have to. I don't remember what the upgrade card did. Okay, yeah, Serenade doesn't have a loot. That's just the one thing I have to remember. Undead Archer. The Undead Archer shows up and they start all the way in the back, and then 1 normal enemy. So this guy gives us. They both give us equipment as rewards. So hopefully we can kill one of them. We don't have a card in the discard for this fight. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have fought this elite battle. I feel like this is going to be bad for me. But it is what it is. Now I know it's an elite battle. I guess I should have known that's what it was, but yeah. I should have went down and maybe purchased something, but it's too late. Decisions have been made. All right, so we can do 2 damage at most, and we can freeze the 3rd round if we want to and forego looting. We can hope Serenade can do up to, they can do usually 1 damage, sometimes 2 damage. And I forget, I think my upgraded card is a shield and a heal. So it depends on what they get. But the other problem is I can't even attack the Undead Archer until they move up. All right, yeah, so I think we're just going to play our cards like this. We'll keep this card, and we're going to hope that Serenade does damage. So 1, 2, in this order so that we can get this into the discard. And then let's see what Serenade's going to do. Could have been a mistake as well. Alright, so Serenade is doing damage, so we should be able to kill the Grenadier, but we're not going to be able to kill the Undead Archer. So we're going to be taking 2 damage this round, at least. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Alright, so we are going left to right. The poison goes first. We are going to loot this scroll, which, do I have a scroll for this? Somewhere I do. This is supposed to be here. We are going to loot it. I think we only assign it at the end, so I'll put it over there for now. And then we do nothing, and Serenade is going to do 1 damage. Then the Grenadier is going to shield themselves. And then the Undead Archer is going to do 2 damage, and we're just going to split it up again to each character for now. And then, yeah, that's all that happens this round. We go to the second round. We are going to get another tooth. And then we are going to punch the Grenadier to get rid of their shield. And they're going to do nothing. And then neither those characters do anything. And then for the third round, we are going to do nothing. We're going to freeze this Undead Archer so they don't hit us one more time. And then Serenade's going to punch the Grenadier to kill them. And then we are going to get an equipment. And then that's the end of the round. They don't attack us. We don't get anything from them. And that is how that goes. So now I get to assign the equipment and the scroll that we looted. The scroll, I think, oh, actually it's discard everything first. So this is going to get discarded. This gets discarded. And then now we have a freeze action for the next fight. We're going to upgrade the poisons, them first, because they get a free damage every round. Well, they can inflict a free damage to things behind us, I guess, but eventually we can start poisoning for free if we can get this all the way up, which should be good. We do want to try to start powering up Serenade too where we can, but I don't know. I'm getting a lot less scrolls this game than I did last time. Probably actually should have upgraded Serenade earlier so that we can get this free heal, but it's fine. And then we also get our first equipment, and I've not seen this before. So this is basically a knife dance. As a skill action, I can discard this and I can do 1 damage to everything. So this is kind of like a one-time use equipment. So we'll probably want to use this when we know we're going to get an equipment, just to save some actions. So we'll see how this goes. It does do damage for everything behind us and in front of us. So that's good. Now we are going to move on, and we get a treasure now as a reward. So we have the option of getting a dead cell and a tooth, or an equipment. We're just going to take the dead cell and the tooth because we just got an equipment, and I have no idea what the equipment is, and maybe cycling through the equipment for something better would be beneficial. But I'd like to also get some dead cells before I die and upgrade my character. So, and again, if I start upgrading this, I can start spending the teeth to do damage. We're just going to hope that we get enough teeth to carry us through. So that's that space. We're going to go to this last combat space now. And now we have another elite fight. This is going to be a scroll fight that we can potentially loot a scroll on, which could be beneficial for us. Maybe we can start upgrading Serenade and get them to heal themselves. We'll see. But let us put everything down first. So we're going to get a level 3 zombie, or 3 health zombie, which is not good for us because I don't think we do enough damage. We're probably going to use this knife dance right away. And they also get a shield right away. So definitely not good for us. There's a chance that we die here, if I'm being honest, but we'll see how this goes. And then we get a shield bearer, which is also not good for us because of the fact that they can put a shield on the first zombie. Good news, if we kill the zombie, we can get a scroll upgrade, and we're going to have to try to kill the zombie, otherwise we take extra damage. So that's going to be our focus of our damage, of what we do. I'm supposed to have 3 cards, so let's draw up the 3 cards and see what we can do this turn. And then we know what the last Serenade card is. It's going to be the shield and the heal, so at the very least we don't have to worry. We get 1 of our hit points back. But the problem is can we kill something with what we have? And I'm not sure that we can, to be honest. Maybe we can if we do it like this. Let's see. We're not going to be able to kill everything with this knife dance because it just does 1 undefendable down. But we do that first. So we still have that shield to deal with. Well, interestingly enough, we could kill the shield bearer on the first turn if we go with this. So let's zoom in here and see what we're discussing. If I use this, I can get 1 damage onto the shield bearer before they can even heal, or before they can shield themselves, which would then let me, and then if I do this, if I do it like this. So if I do it like this, I can get 1 damage on the shield bearer, get another damage on both of them. That puts the zombie down to 2, and that kills the shield bearer right away. But this won't be enough to the zombie. So we're going to be taking 3 damage if we do it like that. Or we go the opposite route and we ignore the shield bearer. And can we kill the zombie early with this combo? Or do we need the poison? So shield bearer will have, basically has 4 hit points. So 1, 3, 4. Yeah. So I guess we just ignore the shield bearer. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Problem is we have to do it in this order, but it's fine. Can't really control it. So, and we will get a shield, so that should help. All right. So Serenade's going to go first. So let us zoom up here. Serenade's going to go first. in this turn order. Don't like having to cover all this up because I'm gonna end up forgetting that I have these powers and stuff. There's a better play. Maybe we play it above. I already forgot what I was doing. Let's put them up here. Can we see them up here? So we did not take a loot. We didn't even have access to a loot action. We're not looting that green scroll. But these are our 3 actions. I think this is how we're gonna do it. Maybe I pull these down a tiny bit. I think that's the better way to do all this so that things are visible. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. All right, so first round 0 actions happen. We have a freeze, and I think we are simply just going to freeze this guy's damage so we don't take that damage. And then they have a round 0 ability to get a shield, the elite zombie. Then we're gonna go left to right. We do nothing, we attack. So we're just gonna attack the zombie to get rid of his shield. And then we're gonna use our knife dance, which gets rid of the card, to do 1 damage to everything. And then they're gonna hit us for 1, and he's gonna get a shield. So he's gonna shield, and we're just gonna take the 1 damage on the poisoned. So we have 1 health left, and we take 1 more, we lose the run. All right, so that's the end of the first round. Second round's gonna kick in, and Serenade's gonna give themselves a shield. And then, how does that healing work, actually? Is that healing themselves? Hold on. So I'm gonna change one thing. I'm gonna actually move the damage from the poisoned to Serenade, only because I think, and I'm not 100% sure, that this healing can only be used on the person casting it. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that's how it works, because this symbol, this one can only be used on the beheaded. So I'm assuming that everything is like self unless it says otherwise. And since Serenade is the one casting Second Wind, then I'm assuming they have to cast it on themselves, just like the shield. And yeah, so that's what we're going with for right now. I don't actually know for sure if I'm playing it right, but I did look at the FAQ real quick and didn't really cover anything. The rulebook says Serenade can be healed by vials, so we're just going to go with that for now. Anyway, we are going to mark the zombie, and then we're going to punch the zombie +1 because of the target, the marked, which is going to kill this zombie, which means that we are going to get this purple scroll at the end of the fight. We'll put it right there just to remember. And then they're going to go away, so they're not going to be dealing any damage to us anymore. And then the shield bearer is just going to give themselves another shield. And then Serenade's going to heal themselves for 1. Just kind of covered that. And we do nothing, and then they do nothing because they were frozen. So they are going to just go away. At the end of the fight, we don't get the dead cell for killing them, but we don't take any more damage. And then this Second Wind card is going into Serenade's discard, and these are just going to go into the discard. And I'm going to use this purple upgrade on the beheaded so that now we can start using some golden tooths during the 3rd round to deal some extra damage. And that is it for this round. And then now we're just going to exit. And when we exit, basically we kind of go to a market phase where we can buy and do some stuff. And that all has to do with this area over here called the Interbiome. So basically these can eventually be upgraded too, I'm assuming, because they say level 0, level 0, level 0. I don't know which deck does what, so I guess we'll discover that as we unlock more things. But here we can spend teeth. We have 6 teeth right now and 2 dead cells. So we can spend 1 tooth to heal one of us 1 time right now. So we're just going to heal the poisons for now, since Serenade does have that self-heal. We will just heal the poisoned and get rid of that. Then we can pay 2 to get an equipment, or we can then eventually pay 4 to get a blueprint unlocked, which would put a blueprint from here into the equipment deck. But we don't want to use all our teeth because our power kind of revolves around teeth. So I think I'm just going to buy an equipment. And we'll keep 3 teeth, and we did not unlock any new blueprints this round because we didn't discover any blueprints for rewards from anything, which is fine. But, you know, hopefully next time we can get lucky. Otherwise, we'll just hopefully get more powerful to a point where we can feel more comfortable buying, you know, the rest of the prisoners' quarters blueprints. But this is the equipment that we're buying right now. And we got the beginner's bow, and there's some glare there, making it pretty hard to see. Why is this so glary? Let's try it like this. Hold on. Beginner's bow. Basically, on the first round, we can do an extra damage, but we can only do damage to stuff that's 2 or 3 spaces away. That's not too bad for this character. I mean, it stinks that we can't hit in the first space, but, you know, it's better than nothing. And that is it for this particular leg of the prisoner's quarters. So now what happens is we remove this. We're going to clear all this up. We're going to set up the new dungeon, which is the toxic sewers, and we will continue our journey. I'm going to drop 3 cards, move my head back over here. Then what is next? We decide where we want to go. So we can now go right or down. I don't remember what the gates represent. I don't know if they're fights, but I think we're going to try gambling this way and see how it goes. Yeah, we'll just try it. Don't know if it's good or not, but going down is definitely 1 or potentially 2 fights. Although we can't get to the merchant, but I think it'll be fine. Let's just go this way. All right, so what does this mean? I'm assuming this is a rune, which I don't have that rune. So I gotta look up and see what that means. All right, so the way I believe this works, we get the heal. We have to choose who gets healing, which I'll probably choose the poisoned again. We get a tooth, and if we had this rune, we could go to this teleportation tile that's on the board right here. But we don't, and I don't know. I'm assuming when you flip it over, it tells you where to go after that. I don't know. Try not to spoil myself by looking at it, so I'll just wait until the time comes where I can do that. So we're gonna heal the poisoned, and then we will also we change who's first player. So now the poisoned's first player, and we get a tooth, and that is it for that tile. So now we are going to pass through this biohazard icon on the board, and basically what happens is we do a deck check. A deck check is, I think, the one where we draw from the top. I believe that is the case. So we have to shuffle this because we have nothing in our draw pile. I think I have like a 50% chance of drawing something. We did not draw a symbol, so we take a damage. So we're just going to give the damage back to the poison that we just healed. Also, Serenade has all of their cards back as well, because when you hit the Interbiome, they get their cards back. That goes there. And that's it. We move on to this next tile, and we are getting a dead cell, and we, I guess, have the potential to unlock a rune if we have that symbol. So again, let me double check that that is how that works. So yeah, so basically if I have a survival card in my hand, I can discard it to unlock this rune. So we're unlocking our first rune, which is kind of exciting. But I do get a dead cell, which puts me up to 3 dead cells. I am going to discard this card right here, which is also helpful for us because now we can freeze something again, and I have to draw another card up. So that kind of worked out. And then now we unlock this rune, which cards are kind of hard to pull out. And it says Vine Rune. You can pass through corridors that require this rune. Interesting. So we now can take a shortcut to the Concierge if we want to. We can go up here and go there instead of having to go down and fight these two bosses, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I don't know what we get from the boss. So we'll have to see. We have to survive there to get there first. Kind of interesting. So now we know we now have the Vine Rune for the rest of forever. As far as I can tell, that doesn't ever go away. All right, so we're going to move down and we're going to do our first fight in the Toxic Sewers. All right, so this is just going to be 2 normal enemies. We're getting a zombie again. This one gives us a dead cell if we kill them, so we'll probably prioritize that. And then we have the Buzz Cutters, which they start all the way over here. And then they deal damage based on how much health they have. So we might want to freeze them. We're probably not going to be able to kill everything. So let's figure out what we want to do. Well, actually, we might be able to kill everything depending on what we draw here. So first things first, we don't really care about the loot. The loot is an equipment card, but we have an equipment, and you know, it's good to see what all the equipment does, but I'd rather not risk taking more damage. My goal is to beat the boss. That's what we're trying to do. So it's figuring out what. So we're definitely going to use this card right here, this poison card. So we'll put this. Well, I'll decide what I'm going to take first. And then the question is, do I want to use my range ability, or do I just want to hit something? And I think I just want to hit something. Well, actually, no. The range ability I can use in the first round. Well, how does that work? The beginner's bow, I think I just get to use. That's interesting. I didn't realize that I don't have to actually activate it. I just get to use it on the first thing. So it means we'll be doing 1 damage guaranteed to the Buzz Cutter. So based on that, we still can't kill everything. So we're going to do these 2 cards like this. And it's going to depend on what we get from Serenade, the order of what we try to do, I think. We're probably just going to end up taking damage from the zombie. The question is, can we kill the Buzz Cutter before they damage us? And the answer is yes, we can. So we'll probably freeze the zombie, and we'll probably just take 1 extra damage. Although we should just be killing the zombie because we'll take 3 damage. So no, I don't know why we're focusing on the Buzz Cutter. And I guess we're trying to focus on it because of reasons. Okay, let's just pick our cards and see how it goes. Let's see what Serenade gives us. All right, so Serenade is giving us the shield and the heal themselves. So we'll put these cards up here. Okay, so nothing has any level 0. We have a level 0 that does nothing. We have a level 0 freeze, that's right. So the question is, what are we going to try? We're going to try to kill the zombie. And because we're trying to kill the zombie, we're going to freeze the Buzz Cutter. And if we can kill the Buzz Cutter, great. But if not, we're not taking any damage. Our beginner's bow is going to, in the first round, and it does 1 damage to something here or here. So we are hitting the Buzz Cutter once for free. So if we poison the Buzz Cutter, we kill them. But can we do 3 damage elsewise? We cannot. We have 1 shield, so it still makes sense to just, with the poison, something. We can't block anything. All right, so the poison's going to go. They're going to do nothing. We're going to loot, which we're going to get the equipment. We didn't want to prioritize it, but we had 2 loot cards, so it kind of just worked out that way. You know what? Why did I do it this way? I should have done it this way. Sorry. We are going to just swap these cards. There's a reason for it. Is why am I spending a tooth? I don't need to spend a tooth to do damage when I can just hit for damage, which is probably the better thing to do anyway. So yeah, we revealed no new information. Well, I guess we revealed this, but yeah, sorry. My 1 take back for the game, I guess. Next time, once I commit my cards, I won't do it. But I think I was thinking this in the first place, and I don't know. I think I got in my head with this, thinking I need to use the beginner bow with the skill thing, and yeah, second game blues. All right, so nothing. We get hit once, and we are going to have Serenade take that hit, and then nothing happens here. So the second round, we poison the zombie, and then we punch the zombie. This guy slides up in the second round. We punch the zombie. Serenade gets a shield. Still have the token on there from before. They do nothing. Okay, so that means the poison's going to tick for a second damage on the zombie. And then we can punch the zombie right now before it can deal damage to us. So that's what we're going to do. We're in round 3. So we're going to use our punch to just hit the zombie instead of waiting for the poison to tick. Because if we wait for the poison to tick, then he'll get his level 3 attack on us, and we don't want that. And that's going to give us a dead cell, which puts us at 4 dead cells at the moment. And then we get a loot action, which we're going to get an equipment for. And then Serenade gets their second wind, which heals them for 1 heart. So Serenade has 2 damage. Poison still is at 1 damage. We don't kill the Buzz Cutter. The Buzz Cutter does nothing to us because they're frozen. And Buzz Cutter is just going to go away. And our cards are going to get discarded. So this gets discarded first. This gets discarded second. And then second wind goes away. And we do get an equipment. Let's see what it is. We get a Cudgel. We get to place a freeze on the first enemy to give you a damage in combat. What? Place a freeze on the first enemy to give you a damage in combat. For some reason, I was reading this backwards, I think. So I was reading it as just place a freeze on the first enemy and give you a combat. So you could put a freeze to do a combat. But I think the way this works is if I get hit, the first time I take a damage, I get to put a freeze on an enemy, which actually isn't too bad. Probably better than this beginner's bow right now, since we're not really damage heavy. Maybe we just try to survive longer. I don't really know. I don't know which is better. I guess we'll try the Cudgel and we'll get rid of the beginner's bow. And we'll see if we regret that decision later on. Alright, so we now have to draw 2 cards. And this... Okay, well, it's going to change anyway. So now we have to walk through another biohazard. We were set up for a nice brutality action for Serenade here, but unfortunately, we have to draw a card for this biohazard, so we're going to lose that setup. But that means we could draw it back and discard it and get it back. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Trying my best to close my eyes and shuffle these. We're going to draw 1. And we don't take damage, so that's good. And instead, we now have a freeze. And then we're going to get this treasure tile. And this treasure tile is just simply going to give us a dead cell and 2 teeth. We are now officially up to 5 dead cells. So I'm going to upgrade it using this little 5. And all right, so now I have some choices to make. I could go straight and see if it will let me go straight to get another treasure. We haven't unlocked the blueprint yet here. But if I go straight, I have to do 2 combats. One of them is going to be an elite combat to get to the boss. But I also have the vines unlocked now. Or I can try to go down and I can try to get another door and maybe get a reward out of that. But the same issue. Well, actually, I can only go... Actually, I have a choice. I have both of these symbols in my hand right now. I could go straight and get another treasure and then do the 2 fights. I could go down. Or I could go up. And then I could do 1 combat, and then I can use the vines to go straight to the boss. I think because I haven't seen the boss yet, I want to see the boss. So I think we'll just go to the boss and see how well we do. I am also going to make one decision. I am going to take back the beginner's bow, because I just read the rules for the boss. And apparently, this would not work on the boss. And since I'm going straight for the boss right now, I'm just going to not take it, because I feel like that's a mistake. So now we're going to take the shortcut. We're going to go up. We got to do another biohazard check. And we are taking a damage, unfortunately. We will give it to the poisoned for now. And we are going to fight something. Serenade will be going first. It's going to be 2 normal monsters. We are going to be able to loot potentially here. So we have a kamikaze and a disgusting worm. So this could be bad, depending on how this goes. And yeah, we get this scroll action as our loot. All right, so let's see what we want to do. We lost our freeze, which would have been really good for just, stopping damage from the kamikaze. So we have to kill the kamikaze. Let's see. What do we want to do here? We want to loot, if possible. But then we are at the mercy whatever Serenade draws to kill the kamikaze. But I think no matter what happens, Comic Serenade. Alright, I'll have to look again. I just have to familiarize myself with these. But every card does damage, right? Yeah, okay. So let's shuffle these. I'll just keep shuffling while I talk so I can not remember which one's which. We can guarantee some damage then if we go that way. And honestly, we could also guarantee a freeze. Well, no, we still want to kill the Kamikaze, I think. We kill the Disgusting Worm, we take damage, but we get 2 teeth. So if we don't kill the Disgusting Worm, we only take 1 damage. But the Disgusting Worm's going to make us discard a card, which is pretty important. So let us think about this. If that is the case, then we absolutely need to do it like this. We can do a tooth action in round 3 for damage. So we can guarantee the Kamikaze dies no matter what. Question is, can we kill the Disgusting Worm and get the extra teeth? And do we want to do that as well is the other question. Because, you know, damage is an important thing too. Alright, so this is what we're going to do, I think. We're just going to do this. We're going to try to get that dead cell. And we're going to hope that it works in our favor. So we're going to move up here. We're going to go 1. And Serenade goes first, so we'll see what they do. They are going to hit something first. So we can kill the Kamikaze right away, actually. It's actually not that big of a deal. We cannot kill the Disgusting Worm, but that's fine. We'll just have to take 1 damage. And alright, so first things first. Level 0, or round 0 abilities. We have 1 that does nothing. They don't seem to have any. So we just move on to round 1. We are going to punch the Kamikaze and punch the Kamikaze. And the Kamikaze is just going to die immediately, so we don't have to worry about all that damage, and we're going to get a dead cell for that. And then we're going to loot this strength scroll, and we'll assign it afterwards. We did not get a lot of scrolls this run, probably not doing enough combat to get them enough, but last time I played I actually upgraded Serenade like all the way, not all the way up, but to at least their powered side, and was able to heal them. I was hoping to be able to do it this time to kind of get the free heal, but yeah, it hasn't worked out, so that's on me, I guess. So that's the end of the first round. The worm does nothing. So second round, we do nothing. We mark the worm, and then we basically use our skill, and our skill... Oh, actually, we forgot to use our beginner's bow. So actually, we could potentially... We can kill the Disgusting Worm this round. If we want to or not, it's a different story, but forgot that we took back the beginner's bow, which does 1 damage at the beginning of the first round, so... And then actually, this worm should have moved up at the end of that last round. Doesn't change anything, but they have 1 damage, they get marked, and we get a tooth with our skill, and then they force us to discard a card, and it doesn't really matter to us because we've used all the abilities on our cards, so we will discard it like this first. I think that's discard. Is that discard or remove? Yeah, discard. Okay. And then for the third round, we do nothing. They're going to punch us once, and we are going to take the damage. Ooh, just realized this gets very scary very quickly. Well, we don't have a choice now. We're kind of in it. So we're going to take the damage with the poisoned. Actually, no, we're not going to take damage. What are we talking about? Well, we're going to take a damage in a second, but we're not taking 2 damage. So Serenade goes, the poisoned goes, but the poisoned has the ability to spend a tooth to do 1 damage. And because they're marked, I'm going to do 2 damage, and that's going to happen before they trigger their ability. So I do take a damage, but it's because of their death ability. So I have to spend a tooth to do that. So I'm basically gaining an extra tooth from this. Really all that I'm getting, but teeth are good. So we'll get another tooth. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 7 teeth right now that we can spend. So maybe we'll buy a blueprint this time around, since we're not going to get another equipment card. And then that's it. We finish the round up. That's everything. We discard our cards. This is going to go away. So now we have 2 Serenade cards left. This is going to go on top, which, assuming nothing happens, we are going to be able to mark the boss. I think, or we don't shuffle between rounds. I could be wrong, but I don't think we do. And now we're going to use our rune to go climb the vines, and we're going to go to the Concierge boss. But before we do the Concierge boss, we get to go to the Interbiome, which means that we can heal, and we're going to heal from Serenade this time for a tooth. That puts us at 6 teeth. So we have 6 dead cells and we have 6 teeth. And then we're going to spend 4 teeth to get a blueprint. And the way this works is we just draw from the bottom of this deck. It goes on top. And if we wanted to spend 2 more teeth, we could get this equipment right now and see what it does. We're not going to do that because our character uses teeth and I'd rather have a few teeth. Also, we forgot to upgrade our character, so let's do that real quick. I could upgrade Serenade right now and get the 2 teeth. That could be good. Or I could upgrade this and do that whenever I inflict the states, I can inflict damage. But I don't know what that equipment is, so you know, we'll just hope that it's something decent on a future run and we'll see what it is. So we're going to get this power. Whenever I inflict the states, I can deal damage because we're probably going to need it to get through the boss. That's all the upgrades that I can do. So we got at least 1 blueprint done this run. We'll see if we can get another one when we fight the boss. So let's go to the boss and see how that works. This is our first time fighting the boss. This is the Concierge. This is what he looks like. And all the rules for him are on the back. So basically, a setup, we're going to place 2 double-sided Fire Strike cards in their corresponding spaces. Shuffle the Concierge deck and place it face down on the monster deck space on the NX board, and then give the first player token to the player of our choice. So we're going to give the first player token to the poisons. Let's get his cards out. Let's put all this back. Let's at least get these cards. We did not find any elites this round. Worked out in our favor. So the Concierge has his own loot table. So we're going to put this out. Which means the toxic sewers does go away. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for 2 double-sided Fire Strikes. Okay, so Fire Strike. Wait. Okay, yeah, and then Concierge. And okay, so he's got 2 sides. So this is his side, and then I guess we shuffle this. I think I did this backwards. I think this guy goes here, this guy goes there. Takes place as normal with the following exceptions. First, Fire Strikes are immune to damage. Only the loot action allows you to extinguish a fire. When this is done, remove it from play. That draw a card is from the Concierge deck. If it's not a Fire Strike, resolve it, discard it. If it is a Fire Strike, place it in any empty space on the combat board, and its actions become effective immediately. If there are no empty spaces, to place a Fire Strike card, apply fire to the group, burn on fire, and if any one of us gets 2 on fire tokens, we die. So that's something to pay attention to. Then, all right, let's see if we can beat this boss. All right, so we have a bunch of things happening first. We are going to be able to mark the boss because of the fact that we have this in our discard. That's going to be very useful, especially since we have the beginner's bow, which is why I decided to keep it, because the shield does not work on the boss. That's really the only reason why. This is a good thing that I read the rules before I made that final decision. I mean, nothing really changed. I looted it and then decided to not keep it for like moving on. But yeah, that's a big distinction. So I probably will never take that shield, or it will only take it early on. All right, so I can get a poison on the boss if I use this card, and I can get a loot action out if I use this card. And if I do it right, I believe the order does not matter. I can get another 0 or another bonus action to Serenade, which could be useful. So I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to play these 2 cards like this, and we will keep Cold Shoulder, and we will draw Serenade's card, and we're just going to see how this goes. Oh, and yeah, okay. Serenade goes last, and that's what Serenade is doing this turn. So Serenade cannot hit the boss, which does not help us. And the Fire Strikes can't take any damage, so Serenade's action is completely useless. And the boss does not move either, so they're never going to get closer even if we remove the Fire Strikes. I don't know what's worse, taking damage or drawing a card, but potentially taking burn damage is worse. Anyway, let's see how this goes. All right, so round 0 stuff. I forget who goes first. I think this is this round 0. Well, this doesn't have a round 0, so we don't have to worry about anything. But I believe if there was a round 0 here, they would go first. I deal damage to things behind me, but I don't know, let's zoom up and make this a little bit clearer. Whoops. I do damage behind me as my round 0, but that does nothing for us. However, I do have this purple, which means Serenade is going to get to put a target down on the Concierge, which is going to be pretty useful. And I'm also going to heal. We have one potion from our, what's it called? Our during the game that we started with. So I'm going to take this potion. Basically, you get to use the potions during a, I don't know if you can use it during the Interbiome, you might be able to, but you get to use it during round 0. So I'm going to use it right now because we are already almost dead and we're not going to be able to heal any other way. So let's get to max health on the poisoned and see if that's enough to carry us through. All right, so back to what we were looking at. So now round 1 stuff happens. Fire Strike's going to happen first. Then we go. We are going to do nothing. Well, we're going to, yeah, or round 1. So we're doing nothing here. So we could have done whatever is happening here. And I might have played that wrong, actually. Let's look at this. Yeah, I might have actually cheated in the last round. I don't think it would have mattered, though. It might have mattered. No, it wouldn't have mattered. It might have mattered that we might not have killed the... We might not have 2 extra teeth. I just realized that the way the beginner bow works is it's an or. So basically, it should have been do the first action or do a damage. I mean, I guess if I would have realized that, I could have done something different, but I don't know how to undo that. I would have had to take 1 less damage from killing something, which would mean I might not actually use my potion right now if that was the case, and I'd have to put back 2 teeth. But I guess we're just going to live with the fact that I cheated because it's hard to undo now because I made all those purchasing decisions. I probably would not have purchased the blueprint then. Instead, I would have probably kept my teeth. I'm not sure. But moving forward, that's how it has to work. Okay, so this is a beginner lesson. It's an or. There's a little slash there. It's very hard to miss, or very easy to miss. But for this round, it doesn't matter. So we're going to do the or for the poisoned and on their first round stuff. And we're going to do 2 damage to the Concierge. We're going to do nothing. And Serenade's going to basically do nothing because they can only hit here and we can't damage the fire strikes. They're immune to pretty much everything. Actually, you know what? Concierge is immune target, which is kind of annoying. I just realized that they have this symbol right here. So there we go. We're just doing 1 damage. This is looking worse for us already, but we're going to do the 1 damage anyway. Then fire strikes do nothing, but Concierge is going to draw a card and they draw a force fields. They're going to do shields. All right, so this is going to be horrible for us. They're going to get 3 shields. It does not matter that I cheated because I believe we're not going to win this because we do not have a lot of damage. But that is it for that turn. Next, we're in round 2. We are going to be able to put a poison on Concierge, so that's good, I guess. And I don't know if that stays between the different combat rounds. I guess we'll discover that as we go. We're going to be able to damage him, so we get rid of a shield. At least poison is unblockable, so we have that going for us. Serenade does nothing. We're going to take 1 damage, and I guess we are going to just take it ourselves. And the Fire Strike does nothing, and then this is going to deal 1 damage to one of us. So I guess we will give it to Serenade. And then round 3, we can punch him again. So we take away the shield. We can loot. We're going to get rid of this Fire Strike because otherwise this Fire Strike's going to draw a card. We get a tooth when we do that. And we're going to spend a tooth right now to deal a damage in round 3 to the Concierge as well. And then Serenade can't do anything because they only have a range of 1. And that's it. Then they do nothing and they do nothing. So that is the end of 1 full combat round. I have to see if that poison stays. Okay, so we forgot to do something. Another damage. We put the poison on round 2. And now at the end of round 3, he takes a 3rd damage. I have to see if the poison. Okay, so I think the poison stayed. So I think all that happens is, unlike other rounds, we don't remove anything. Instead, what's going to happen is we just go to a new round 1. So we don't do any more round 0 stuff. But this card gets discarded. This gets discarded. And then this is going to get discarded. We are going to draw. I don't know why those are there. I was looking at it before. Also, we forgot that when we inflict a state, we inflicted poison, we actually get to do an extra damage. So he actually has 4 damage on him. I mean, I believe that's how it works, right? I'm going to assume that statuses carry over between rounds. So that poison was a good draw for us at this stage. Alright, so we are going to basically be killing him with the poison right now. So the best thing for us is to set ourselves up for next round. And I don't know how to best do that. I think the best thing to do is to a symbol out into the discard. And we're going to do that. Basically, I think we're going to do it this way. And I also just realized we might have cheated with teeth in the past too, because this is also an or action. Hopefully we haven't cheated though, but it's not an and, it's an or. So we have to remember that we can, for our 3rd action, we can do whatever it says, or we can spend a tooth to deal damage. So I don't know if we messed that up earlier, but that's just something we have to remember moving forward. So when we inflict a state, so we'll hold on to Cold Shoulder for our freeze, because we can do a damage with that freeze. And we can get a 2nd freeze out by doing it this way. So we'll put these out, and then Serenade's going to pull out a card. And unfortunately, I mean, it's not going to matter, I don't think, but this is what we got going on right now. All right, so Fire Strikes. So we don't do any round 0 stuff because we're still in the same round. So we'll go straight to round 1. This guy does nothing. Then Serenade does nothing. He can get a tooth, so we'll get a tooth. And then we do nothing. And then the boss is going to draw a card. And the boss draws a leap, break all shields. All we have to discard their shields, draw a new construct. So we don't have any shields, so not that big of a deal. And then we are putting out another Fire Strike. And we don't have any loot played this turn, so this is just going to go here. And that will be impactful to us because 2 on fires will kill us. But we can't do anything about it because we don't have a loot card. Alright, so that's that. Now we're taking a lot of damage, actually. So he takes that damage now. So that puts him at 5. Weirdly enough, had we done this differently, yeah, had we used our Cold Shoulder, we'd be in a better position right now, actually. Because we could have done 1 more damage to her sooner, and we could have actually avoided all of this damage. Actually, no, we couldn't have. There's no way we could have. We would have to do 2 damage to be able to do that. So, yeah. So we're taking 3 damage right now between us all. So this is not looking good. Oh, actually, no. It would have mattered because we forgot that we have the bow. And the bow would have done a damage too. So that would have put him at 6. So had we have been smart and instead did Cold Shoulder, which we're not going to undo it, we could have hit him for 1 right now. And that would have reset everything. And we would not be taking 3 damage. So that is a big blunder on my part. And I don't think there's any way I could get a state out. And Serenade does damage in the last round. We do damage now, but we only do damage to this first area. We don't punch far enough. So yeah, we're just going to have to take the 3 damage. So it's 1 damage, 2 damage, 3 damage. And unfortunately, had I played that differently and not tried to prioritize the freeze, then we could have avoided 3 damage. So we're going to give 1 to Serenade. We'll give 2 to me. And then if either one of us takes the damage now, which is going to be guaranteed to happen, we're going to lose, so that's unfortunate. But we at least get to see what the next phase of the boss looks like. And then we're going to get some upgrades. Alright, so this is going to go away. And actually, like, even if we would have had this, so now Serenade gets this round action every turn. If we would have had this, then we also would have been not taking 3 damage, but instead we drew a card, so it is what it is. Alright, so he is going to take damage, and he's going to immediately flip over. Everybody's tokens are going to go away. We have no way of healing, so 1 damage kills us. He's going to flip over. He now needs 8 damage, and he hits us every round. So we are going to lose. But we will try our best, I guess. This is going to get discarded. This is going to get discarded. We do get to start with round 0 stuff again. So we can freeze something, and I guess we will just freeze him so we don't die in the first round. And then we'll get to choose 2 cards. We will choose a loot action. Guess we'll do it like this. And now, sorry, we are first player now again. And then Serenade is going to be just punching something during the second action. And I think this is where we lose, because we cannot stop both the damages from both fire strikes because we don't have 2 loots. But let's just play it out. Round 1, he does nothing. We are going to loot, and we'll just remove him, get him off the board. Then we can use our beginner's bow to at least hit the boss for 1. And also when we put the... no, not yet. Then round 2 happens, and we're going to take 1 damage from the fire strike. We lose. So we did pretty good. I think we still would have lost, even if I would have made the smart move, because let's just play it out. Let's pretend we did it right. We would have had this much health left. We're just pretending now, so we'll take the damage from this. But he hits us again, and now he plays a card, and he also then just hits us for a lot more. Concierge deals 1 damage plus 1 damage per fire strike in play. So yeah, we'd be taking a lot more damage anyway. Not sure what we need to get past that. Obviously, more strength scrolls would have been better. So maybe fighting more would have been better. I don't know. But let us go to the end game so that we can end this video, and then I'll clean up and do things separately. So we do not get our 3 dead cells reward. We do not get a concierge item, but we do get to spend 6 dead cells. And actually, yeah, you know what? There is one thing I'm going to change. I didn't notice this until just now. This guy has a dead cell reward. So since I knew I was going to die anyway, I'll just kill him instead, and I'll get 1 extra dead cell. So that puts me at 7 dead cells that I get to spend. So the way this works is that we have these decks over here. We have Tactics, which is purple. Here, I guess I'll just put them. I'll remove these guys. I'll remove him. And I'll just put these here so that you can see them. The rest you can see, but these 2 you can't. So we have these 4 decks. We have Brutality, Tactics, Abandon Well, and Survival. And last time we purchased from Survival and Tactics. Today we're going to purchase our first purchase from Brutality because we haven't seen anything in there yet. And everything here is permanent for all the rest of our games. So basically we draw the bottom card from here. And Equipment level 1, what does it say? Draw the top card of the equipment deck and equip it headed with it. Okay, so this is a start of game effect. So this is going to go up here. So now we get to start with equipment every game. So that should help out a little bit. So now I have to decide where I want to spend my last 5. I think we're going to do another survival. Let's see what we get. Heal level 1. Okay. So now when we go to the store, we can heal twice, so now we have 3 dead cells left. And I guess we will do another Tactics. Upgrade deck. When this card is revealed, take the next 2 cards. Choose which. Okay, so we get more cards out of this. So this is going to go away. I guess this is always just going to be more cards. I don't remember which one gave us cards last time. All right, so we have Distraction, which is a loot as a symbol, a loot, and two single damage that you can split however you want. Or we have a Strike, which is basically going to be, we can use our skill and we can do 1 undefendable damage to something. Serenade does not get skills, so this might not be good. And I also don't think Serenade can Serenade loot? Serenade can loot. I believe Serenade can loot. So we might give this to Serenade, even though it has a symbol on it, just to give them more cards. And we might give the Strike to the character. But the beginning of every game we can redistribute these. So next game I'll probably play one of the other 2 beheaded, or that I haven't played yet. Decide how I want to distribute this. And we have 1 more dead cell to spend, so let's see what happens at the Abandoned Well. I don't know if we bought any Abandoned Well cards last time. I don't remember. But we have Abandoned Well. The Abandoned Well, the temptation to throw something into it is too strong. Sploosh. Nothing happens. Well, what were you expecting? Okay, well, I'm assuming something will happen eventually. So that's all of our dead cells. So Now we get a little bit more heals, but we have to spend more teeth to do so. And we get to start with an equipment, so we should be a little bit stronger, potentially, depending on what we draw. And we also have a couple more tactics cards. I don't know yet if the tactic cards were a real upgrade, but they might be. Probably for characters that have a lot of skills, the strike is really good. For this character, it's not really that good, but maybe with something like the beginner's bow, it doesn't really matter. But I do have to remember there's a slash that means or, so the beginner's bow, cannot be used twice. And yeah, that is everything for the end of this game. So that's our second play of Dead Cells. If you enjoyed this, and hopefully every game will go a little bit faster now that I'm learning the rules. If I made any rules mistakes, let me know. At some point I will do a review of the game, but I'm probably going to wait until I get through the campaign to actually do a review. And yes, that is it for today. I will probably play in the next couple of days and keep this moving. I have no idea how many sessions it takes to beat the game, but considering we haven't even beat the first boss, we have a long ways to go. And that boss seemed like I need more power. I probably should do more fights and get my stuff upgraded, because if I would have had more purple tactician scrolls, I could have done a lot more damage faster and made basically every round give me something to do. That is it. I will see you next time. This has been Wakasm. If you like this, give me a like, subscribe, tell me where I made rules mistakes. Otherwise, I will see you next time.